to record this. So a couple of housekeeping items before we get started. First of all, I'm Michelle Morris with Consolidated Planning Group. We are a holistic financial planning firm that focuses on families with special needs loved ones. Today, we have a little bit of a new topic for us with Diane Nguyen. She is from the Texas Senior Medicare Patrol, and she's going to be providing some information for us today about protecting your families from fraud and stopping senior citizen scams. So I think this is a great topic for everyone to be aware of. We cannot see you or hear you, but we know you're out there. And if you have any questions, you can just feel free to put them in the chat box and we will get to them towards the end of today's presentation. This presentation is being recorded and it will be sent to you through email after we're finished today. So again, if you have anything that you want us to answer, put it in the chat box. So again, like I said, I'm Michelle Morris. Consolidated Planning Group is a financial planning firm that focuses on families with special needs loved ones. Diane, if you go to the next slide. Some of the things that we do and that you need to be aware of, special needs planning is highly nuanced, and there are only a few companies here in Texas that focus on special needs families, and we're one of them. We are blessed to be part of the community and proud to serve you. But if you have questions about any of the things listed on the screen, like protection plans, lifetime care for your loved ones, how to estimate the costs of providing for them for the rest of their lives, transition planning, ABLE accounts, and advocacy. So we really take a path of education and advocacy, providing these free webinars weekly, and we hope that they are of value to you. So without any further ado, I present to you Diane Nguyen. She's going to go through her slides, and like I said, we'll send you the recording when we're finished. Enjoy.
My name is Diane Nguyen. I'm the program director for the Texas Senior Medicare Patrol, and we are actually housed at the Better Business Bureau Education Foundation here in Houston. So today I'm going to be talking about, our top scams of 2021. Well, to look out for 2022. And here's a study from the BBB actually. So the biggest scams that we saw were actually phishing scams. And those are, email scams that you get. And then the next thing was online purchases, sweepstakes, lottery and prizes, government agency imposter, tech support, government grant, debt collection, employment. There's tons of scams out there, and this is what we've been seeing the most. Scams. I'm going to be talking a little bit about the Senior Medicare Patrol. So it's a federally funded program, and there's one in every single state in the US, including a few territories. So there's actually 54 Senior Medicare Patrols. What we do here is we recruit and train volunteers and professionals about Medicare fraud and abuse. We also report intentional fraud and abuse to, Medicare control units. So we have a hotline that you can call if you ever suspect there's any fraud, especially if you see anything on your Medicare summary notices. You can call our hotline. It's staffed by real people. You're not going to get a menu or options unless it's not business hours, and we'll get back to you the next time it is. But we collect all the data and we send it off to Medicare or the Texas Attorney General or the Office of Inspector General, just depending on where it needs to go. Because we're also at the BBB, also really important to check out a company before you get ripped off. The first two numbers are the number for the Better Business Bureau. So if you need information about a company, you can call those two, or you can just visit the website. And the last number there is our hotline. I will also be showing it at the end at the later slides. So you don't have to get it now. I'll also put it in the chat later on as well. Like I said, it's manned by a real person. If you suspect any fraud, see anything on your billing that seems suspicious, please call the number. This is for Advantage plans as well. So anybody that's on any kind of Medicare plan. And the bottom three, contact information, Jennifer Salazar, she's the executive director at the Education Foundation, and then my information and Lily Chu, who's also my colleague, who's sitting behind me. So now I'm gonna get into the top 10 scams of 2022. So these are the things that we think you should be looking out for this year. But you are not the only one following the news. Unfortunately, scammers also watch the news and they are completely aware of everything that's going on, and they take advantage of that in order to steal your money. And we decided it's going to be kind of an overall scam. It's not quite a scam, it's just how they get to you. So number 10 is communication. Scammers will find all sorts of ways to scam you, whether it's online or on the phone, in person. Online is a really big one because there's tons of ways that they can get to you through social media like Facebook, phishing emails, which we will get into in depth a little bit, advertisements, they'll call you, they'll text you, and they'll even try to scam you in person. Don't trust your caller ID. There is something called spoofing. This means scammers can change the way that their number looks on your phone. There was one time I got a call on my work phone and it said BBB Houston. And I thought that was really odd because I am at the BBB Houston. So I answered it and it was a scammer telling me I was in legal trouble. They can change it to say anything that they want. So just because it says it's from your doctor or the IRS or Medicare doesn't mean it's necessarily them. And this is illegal what they're doing, but there's not
Diane,
really, yes.
My in-laws are visiting this weekend from Kansas because it's graduation weekend and my son graduated. So my father-in-law let me know that one time he received a phone call on his cell phone from himself.
Oh, it's actually so funny.
It
They do that
happens.
too. So a lot of the times they try to spoof numbers that are in the same area code. I guess that scammer got really unlucky and spoofed the same number. So don't trust your caller ID. If you ever see, that the Medicare, the government, anybody calling you, it might not really be them. So just be careful when answering your phone. So what should you do? So the biggest rule is don't pick up the phone for anyone you don't know. Because a lot of the times it is a scammer calling you. We got a lot of scam calls. I feel like lately it's actually been picking up. I used to not get that many calls on my cell phone because I don't really answer it for numbers I don't recognize. But lately I feel like I've been getting more and more. But that's the biggest thing you could do is don't pick up. Because when you pick up and you say hello, that tells the scammer that your number is a good number. It's a real number attached to a person. So then you're going to actually end up getting more calls. Don't answer any texts from strangers. That's the same thing. When you answer a text, it tells the scammer this number is a good number because there's a real person attached to this number. And don't download or click on any links in emails. When you get an email and it looks a little suspicious, don't click or download anything. If it's your bank or maybe Amazon, type in the web address yourself to check, but don't just click or download everything. And don't when you don't know into your house or stop you on the street. Not everybody's a bad person, but there's a lot of not great people out there. So you want to protect yourself. Number 9, investment scams. This one is really targeting older adults. Scammers will try to get you to spend your money with fraudulent investments. They're going to say things like you're special. This is a deal of a lifetime. They're going to say things like it has really high return rates, and they're going to pressure you. They're going to say things like this is only for you and this is right now or else it's going to go away. Well, legitimate people will give you time to think about making investments. Slow down. Just because somebody tells you it's now or never doesn't mean it's actually now or never, and what they're offering might be fraudulent. Like I said, slow down. Legitimate people will give you a lot of time to think about investments. Research brokers on FINRA. That will give you a history of the broker and any trouble that they could have gotten in. And then be prepared and have a script. What I mean by this is if you get a call or maybe somebody approaches you to do an investment, you don't just right away, give them your information. You get their information and you say something like, oh, I have to run all of my investments by my daughter who's an accountant, or my son who's a lawyer. Even if it's not true, a scammer might get scared off by this and you may not hear from them again. So be sure to have something ready to say when you get these kinds of calls or someone approaches you in real life. Yeah. And number 8 is sweepstakes. So great, you won something. You might see it in a pop-up. You might get a call or text that you've won the Publishers Clearinghouse. You might get a letter, email, or even on social media. Unfortunately, they're going to tell you things like, oh, you need to pay the taxes on it, or there's actually a courier fee for your gift, or you need to pay the insurance, the tax, the title, the license. But when you ask them, can't you just take it out of the winnings? They're going to tell you, no, you have to pay it up front. You can't win anything you don't enter. So remember that. Ignore random mail, email, text, or phone calls saying you won a prize out of the blue. All of these are going to be scams. Even if you don't pay whatever tax they're asking for, they might ask you to input personal information, which you don't want to do. Don't click on any pop-ups, download any attachments, or click links. Usually, if I get a pop-up on my computer, I just exit everything and start over because I don't want to accidentally click on something and put a virus on my computer. Or, if it says you won something, it's going to make you put your banking information and they steal your information that way. And we talked about phishing earlier, but a lot of these come in emails. Are very similar to spoofing, where they try to make the email look legitimate. But remember, you can't win anything you didn't enter. So if something says you won, you probably didn't. But we older adults are kind of getting into money transfer apps because a lot of the times our bank accounts are automatically linked to some of these. So I thought it was important that this is also on our list, even though it is something newer, but it's something that we should know about. And all of those around are just examples of some money transfer apps that are being used. Transfer app does is let you transfer to others quickly on your phone. Once you send the money, it's gone. There's not really that much way. It depends on the app, but once you send the money, generally it's gone. People can also spoof accounts, just like they can spoof a cell phone number. So what they do is make an account look exactly like another account, except maybe with a slightly different misspelling or with a period or something that you wouldn't notice. This actually happened when I was in college. I was in an organization and we were raising money, and somebody made a fake account of my organization. They had the same picture. They had a very similar name, except it had an underscore. And so people were sending money to the wrong account and we couldn't get that money back. All we could do is report that account, and they probably got away with all the money that they took. Another scam is, oops, I accidentally send you money. So it's like a bounce check. So what happens is a scammer will send you money, let you know that they accidentally send you money. And a lot of us are good people and we want to be able to send it back. So once you send it back, the problem is the funds were not legitimate in the first place. So then it gets taken out of your actual bank account. It's like when someone writes you a bad check, but then you give the money away to somebody else, the bank is going to take the money out of your own account. So be really careful if somebody sends you money through an app that they shouldn't have and they ask for it back. Just let the app know, let customer service know that it happened, and they should be the ones taking care of it, not you. Also, this is a newer way that scammers are actually getting money. So it used to be things like iTunes gift cards. They would ask you to send that way. It's actually now, I think Target gift cards is the big thing, but they also like this way because it's really hard to track who owns these accounts. So if a business is asking you to send and asking you to pay this way, you might want to double check the business because people should be taking things like, like checks or credit cards and not only through money transfer apps. So if you are on if you are using it, you can always link your account to a credit card. This does have a fee. I think they charge like 3% generally, which is like the fee of using, your card. The reason is because credit cards actually have more fraud protection than a debit card or a bank account. Debit cards and bank accounts, if you link it directly to these apps, it's like directly to the money in the bank. But if something goes wrong, you can always dispute it with a credit card. Be wary of businesses that only accept these forms of payments. Like I said, they should be able to take checks. They should be able to take credit cards. Verify recipients before making a transfer. Be really careful when you're sending money off. Make sure it's the person you want to send it to. Like I said, once you send it, it's probably not coming back. So hopefully you send it to the right person. Never send or accept payments from someone you don't know. We talked about that earlier, about them sending money and then it taking out, and then you sending it back and then it being taken out of your actual account. Have strong passwords. This goes for everything that is on the computer, any accounts you have strong passwords that are hard to guess for other people, but easy for you to remember. You don't want to use things like your birthday or, your anniversary or things that other people might be able to find out easily like that. Because if your passwords get compromised on any of these things that have to do with your money, you might be losing a lot of money. And keep transactions private. The way these apps work is you can let people see what you are sending. They can't see the amounts, but they can see who you're sending money to. So if you do use these, just like social media, you want to keep your accounts private so people don't know what you're doing on there. And then after you do transfer money, make sure you check your bank accounts to make sure that it went through. Warranty. I'm sure everybody gets these calls all the time. So you might get a call that claims that your car warranty or insurance is about to expire. The caller will claim to be from a manufacturer, car dealer, or insurer. They're trying to steal your personal information. So I've noticed after you buy a car, these calls actually pick up a little bit. It's because, that's public information. When you buy a house or a car, that is public information. It goes on the internet somewhere. So there are scammers out there trolling these things and seeing who's buying a car, who they can trick into buying a car warranty, which is just a scam. I have an example of a call here. Let me see if I can. Example of what, some of these calls sound like. Oops. If you get these calls, just hang up is the best thing to do. Don't ever give away your personal information to anybody over the phone that you didn't solicit yourself, including your driver's license number, because they might ask for that too. Don't answer phone calls from random numbers. If you do have to answer, or if you do answer and you realize it's, a car warranty call or something that seems a little off, just hang up right away. It's not rude to hang up on people. A lot of the times I find that older adults have trouble hanging up the phone when somebody calls them and is asking them for things or telling them that they need, their Medicare and they need all this information. It's not rude to hang up. This is, your phone. You don't need to listen to whoever's on the other end of the line. You can hang up. Number 5, tech support. So you get a pop-up on your computer claiming to be from Microsoft about a problem. They say if you give them tech support, access to your hard drive, they can fix it. Well, somebody somewhere else cannot see that there's a virus on your computer. So if you ever get a message that says, and it popped up like this, and it says you have a virus, it's a scam. Nobody that's not in front of you sitting at your computer can see that you have a virus on your computer. So never click on any pop-ups. Never do tech support, business with tech support that contacts you over the phone or internet. Change your email and social media passwords if you do accidentally click on these tech support things. And like I said, choose passwords that are easy for you to remember. So what I do when I get a pop-up that says anything like this, that says I have a virus, I close out of everything and I start over, because I don't know, if I click on it, it'll give me a virus. And I've noticed too, sometimes they'll have a fake exit button on these pop-ups. So you just close out of everything and start over. Scammers are getting really good these days about trying to get you to click on things that you aren't supposed to click on. Number 4 is social media. This is a big one. I'm going to mainly be focusing on Facebook just because I know a lot of older adults are on Facebook and not so much anything else. There's a lot of scams on Facebook, a lot. Gift exchange. This is like the secret sister. It comes around every year. It even gets people my age. It tricks everybody. I've seen people post it. Basically, they'll either do, books, bottles of wine, gift cards. It's essentially a pyramid scheme. They want you to, send one thing and you'll receive 26. That's impossible unless it's a pyramid scheme.
And it's really hard for some of us to pass up bottles of wine.
Tempting. It's super tempting, but remember, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. And pyramid schemes are illegal, so I wouldn't engage in that. Phishing emails, there's also a lot of people pretending to be Facebook sending you emails that say, check your account, something's wrong with your account. If you do see an email like this, don't click on anything. You can just type it in yourself, facebook.com, and check your account yourself. If you want to verify that your account is okay. There's a lot of fake accounts. So people will pretend to be, somebody else. They'll message you. They'll try to, get you to give them money or, I'll talk a little bit about it later, but the romance scam is really popular on Facebook as well, where somebody tries to get you to fall in love so that eventually you send them money. Fake celebrity lives. This means that people pretend to be celebrities on Facebook and get you to try to send money to a fake charity or something, basically just trying to steal your money. There's a lot of fake shopping ads. There's a lot of real shopping ads on Facebook too, but there's also, it's not that hard to buy an ad on Facebook. So if you do see a sale or something on an ad, type in the website directly and see if the sale's on there instead of just trusting any link you see on Facebook. And there's a lot of fake links. So I think there used to be a lot of fake Ray-Ban ads, but if you clicked on the link, it would give you a virus. So this is of what the secret sister thing might say. They basically is just saying you just have to buy one gift and then you'll get a lot of gifts and it's going to be really fun, except it's really a pyramid scheme. Here's an example of a phishing email from Facebook. This looks like what a Facebook email notification will look like, but if you have to be careful when you look at the sender, because the email there is not a Facebook email. Facebook's not going to be sending you an email that's not, at facebook.com. So be really careful, and this goes with any email you receive. Check the sender. Check to see the email that's associated with it, and if it matches what is being sent. So watch out for scammers pretending to be Facebook. Check your login history. Don't click on anything suspicious and don't give away money or information to anyone you don't know. I don't have this on there, but put your accounts on private. A lot of these things you can put public, these social media accounts, but you don't want to do that because anybody can see the information you're putting out. Scammers also use social media. They're trolling on there to look for information. When they call you, they probably already, looked you up, Googled your name, tried to see, if you have social media, what information that they can take from these things in order to trick you. Number 3, this one will just never go away. COVID. So there's a lot of COVID scams out there. So a lot of bogus treatment, prevention medication. There's a lot of websites that say things like that for personal information and money. There's fake COVID tests. That's a problem that has been on the news lately, actually, about these pop-up tents that are actually not real COVID tests, and then they take your information. You should not need to provide a social security number to get a COVID test. If you need a COVID test, I recommend just going on the county website, to check where there are real tests, and don't trust just a pop-up you see out, in a parking lot, because you never know, they might not be a real test. You might not get the results, and then they just steal your information. Fake vaccine cards, that's not so much a problem here in Texas, but it is illegal, and you don't want to post your vaccine card online because people steal that information in order to make fake cards. And then fake calls from Medicare offering COVID-19 care packages. So this one has died down quite a bit, but it used to be they would call older adults that are on Medicare and tell them that we're providing free COVID-19 care packages. Medicare is going to cover it. Well, what happens is they end up charging Medicare thousands of dollars for supplies that you can get at the grocery store. So the recommended action for this is call your doctor for medical treatment for COVID-19. Don't post your vaccination card online, and there's no miracle cure. So if you see anything like that, it's probably not legitimate. Number 2 is identity theft. So this is actually the ultimate goal of these scammers, and that's why it's number 2, because this is the goal for the most part, is to take your identity. They use your identity to ultimately get money. Personal information they steal includes social security numbers, your birth date. Actually, to steal your identity, they really only need those 2 numbers. They can, take out credit with that. They can file for unemployment. People can do a lot with just those 2 numbers. So be very careful. Don't carry around your social security card. Don't give it to anyone that just asks for it, especially over the phone. Banking information, they only need there's 2 numbers, your routing number and your account number, and they can take money out, and your Medicare number. Now, the reason the Medicare number is a really, I'm the director of the Texas Senior Medicare Patrol. That's why, Medicare is a big deal. But what scammers do is they take your Medicare number. They bill Medicare for thousands and thousands of dollars. And in the end, it costs all of us. It's paid by taxpayers. And even if you don't want to think of it that way, let's say they bill for a wheelchair, and then in a few years, you actually need a wheelchair. Well, Medicare is going to think you already got one, so they're going to deny the claim. So we want to be very careful. Don't carry around your Medicare card, just like your Social Security card. Leave that at home. Only take it if you're going to the doctor. Don't ever give away that information to anyone that doesn't need it. So I don't think the videos are working, but recommended action: don't give away your Social Security number, Medicare number, bank account information, or any other personal information to anyone you don't know. If anyone comes to you and solicits this number, don't give it to them. If anybody calls you out of the blue, don't give it to them. Only give these things away when you are seeking out something. So let's say you need information about benefits, Medicare benefits, and you call the area agency on aging. That's who you should call if you need help with benefits. They need your Medicare number, but you're asking them for help. But if somebody calls you asking for these numbers, don't give it to them. Collect your mail every day. Check your mailbox every day. Don't leave mail in there. Scammers will go around neighborhoods looking for mail inside these mailboxes because, sometimes there's things like credit cards, there's personal information in your mail. So be sure to collect it every day. If you go on vacation, have the post office hold your mail. They won't charge you for it. It's a free service. Just hold your mail at the post office. And also, if you're going to be sending out mail, I wouldn't put it in your mailbox with the flag up because that also alerts scammers that there might be good mail in there. I would go to the post office directly to send it. Check your credit scores. Do it, I think you can get 3 a year. Three times a year. And I recommend you using that service. and use our credit report, but also credit score as well. And then use complex passwords for everything, something people can't guess about you. And number one are emergency scams. So we kind of lumped a bunch of scams into this one because they're kind of the same situation. So someone you think you know calls you, it's an emergency, they need money. So this includes the romance scam, very big on Facebook. So somebody will try to befriend you and slowly over time gain your trust. And what they eventually happens is there's a huge emergency. They need money, but they won't ever visit you though. They'll say things like they're working overseas or, they live really far away. They can't ever visit you, but they're in an emergency. Their car broke down. They need money for something. And slowly they're going to try to take money from you. The grandparent scam. So this one is you get a call in the middle of the night and they say they're your grandchild and they don't want you to tell their parents. They're super embarrassed, but they got a DWI and they need you to bail them out. And they're going to beg you not to call their parents. Or the government is calling you and you're in trouble. You missed jury duty or you owe taxes and you're going to jail. Well, the government, IRS, and they're not going to call you for that. You're going to get a letter in the mail for jury duty. They won't call you and say you're going to jail either. They also will pretend to be Social Security or Medicare. Those two will also not call you. Anytime the government needs to talk to you, they're going to send you a letter. They're not going to call you and threaten you. To strangers, be very careful about who you befriend over the internet because you don't know if they're legitimate. Verify with your loved ones. If you get a call in the middle of the night and it says they're your family, they're your relative in trouble, even though they're begging you, please don't tell anyone, hang up and then call them directly with the number you know, or call their parents or whoever to make sure that the story is legitimate. And then IRS and other government agencies will not call to threaten you, just hang up. So, the best advice is just to not pick up any calls that you don't recognize, don't send money to strangers, keep your social media on private. And if you're gonna be online dating, it's safer to date in your backyard when you can meet someone in real life. Sooner the better, because if someone's trying to get to know you, they wanna see who you are. They also wanna see who you are. So if someone's avoiding meeting you, it's probably a red flag. They're probably trying to scam you. And we also have other speeches. We have our Hall of Shame speech, which is a little different than this one. The Hall of Shame are the scams that will just never go away. And I'm gonna go through a couple of bonus scams. So the first is election scams, and because it's an election year, it's really important that I talk about this. So phone calls, text, emails from someone claiming to be from a political candidate. I recommend if you want to donate to anyone, I would go to their website directly. You don't really know who's calling you. They might not actually be a political candidate. It might just be someone trying to scam you. And the second one is work from home. Because of COVID, a lot of people are wanting to work from home, and you may see ads online to work from home, but not all of these jobs are going to be legitimate. Some of them require you to either put in your personal information like Social Security, bank account numbers before you even get the job, or make you buy materials, which you won't be reimbursed for. So what they do in the second scenario is they send you a check, tell you this is the supplies you need. These are the supplies you need. Buy these supplies, and then using the check that's given to you. So what you do is you buy the supplies, but then when you try to cash the check, it bounces because it's not legitimate. So then you just wasted a bunch of money on materials that you definitely don't need for a fake job. And yeah, this is our, thanks for listening to my presentation. This is our hotline number. It's 888-341-6187. And like I said, a real person will answer the phone. So if you ever think, you've been scammed or you receive materials in the mail from a company that claims that Medicare will cover it, things like genetic testing, braces, any supplies that you didn't ask for, or if you see any discrepancies on your Medicare summary notice, please call that number. I'm one of the people that answers that phone. So, and my direct contact information is down there as well. Feel free to call or
Yeah, does anybody have any, I don't see any questions in the chat box, but if you do have any questions as we start wrapping up here, please feel free to put them in the chat box. We'll leave this up for just a moment. Diane, I think this was fascinating information, especially, your first slide that said what the percentages of different scams are. I didn't realize that phishing was so prevalent and that everybody's, getting caught up in those phishing scams where they make the email and spoofing, make it look like it's from a company that it's really not. And they're, like you said, they do get very good at that, making even the exit button look fake or be fake and look real. It's just amazing.
That if anybody, encounters kind of, a scam or is scammed, it's not your fault that you've been scammed. It's the scammer's fault. But it's really important that we try to report these things because it can help other people later. Like the data that we have that I pulled from the BBB, it's from their scam tracker website. So it's, this information is only coming from people that are willing to report.
Yeah, I noticed that somebody raised their hand. But if you have a question, please go ahead and put it in the chat box. There's just a couple more slides, Diane, I think here at the end. So this is a great topic that we've covered today. And like I said, it's a new topic for us, watching out for scams and keeping your family safe. But just to switch gears a little bit, when we think about special needs planning, which is what we do at Consolidated Planning Group, things that you want to have on your radar, how to develop a comprehensive special needs care plan, future care cost estimates. You need to think of, most people think of your retirement and your spouse's retirement, but having a special needs child who might need care for 20 or 30 years after you're gone, that's kind of like a third bucket of retirement money that you need to plan for and save for. Making sure your child is signed up on the waiver interest lists. These waivers can be extremely helpful, paying for attendant hours or supplies or school, all kinds of things that the waivers can help pay for. Making sure that you're signed up correctly for SSI. When they turn 18, they should be able to qualify for SSI. Putting money into ABLE accounts, making sure your beneficiaries are designated correctly. Special needs trusts. We help people every day talk about how to have enough money to leave to their children in a special needs trust. You should definitely start touring residential living facilities at around age 15 because there could be a wait list and you want to see what's available. Getting your guardianship set up. You can start setting up guardianship within 6 months of them turning 18. And if guardianship isn't right for you, there are other options like partial guardianship or a healthcare power of attorney or supported decision-making. There are plenty of post-high school education options available and programs that are out there that we can help you evaluate. And like I said, getting on the waiting lists for community-based care facilities. Can you go to the next one? So this is our team. Allison and Jeff are the owners of the company. They have 4 children together and 2 of them have special needs, which is why we have taken this path. Myself and my husband, Andy Morris, are the other half of the advisor team here at Consolidated Planning Group. And then we have the fantastic Meredith Haynes, who helps set up all of these great webinars and helps us with marketing. We also have a couple girls in the office who schedule appointments and help us with paperwork and things like that. We're just a small boutique style firm. We're independent, but we can play with all the big dogs. And when you call us, you are, again, like Diane said, you're reaching a human being. When you call me on my, the numbers that I pass out, it's my cell phone. You're actually calling me. And we're here to help. Diane? So at Consolidated Planning Group, we always offer a free initial consultation. You can schedule that yourself by using this QR code. Everyone probably knows how to do that by now, but just to be clear, you just open your camera app on your phone, hold it over that QR code, and a link should pop up. You just touch that link and it will take you straight to our calendar scheduling system. You can pick a day and time that works best for you, or you can call the office. There's our phone number. You can email us, contact@cpgcares.net. We also have a Facebook page and a YouTube channel. All of the webinars that we do live on our Facebook channel after the webinar is finished. So if you have questions, or you want to see it again, or you missed it, or you want more information, you can go right there to our YouTube channel. All right, Diane, we do have one question that came through. It says, I get pop-ups saying my phone has been hacked. It's almost impossible to get past this pop-up. Does this happen frequently, and is there any way to keep it from happening?
If this is happening on your phone, I'm not sure, honestly. The only thing I would do if this happened on my phone is I'd reset it. I turn it off and then turn it on again. But if this happens frequently, you might have already downloaded something on your phone. The only thing I could tell you to do is just to contact like some kind of tech support for your phone, or to the store where you got your phone and ask them if they can do anything about it, because it sounds like yeah, I would contact, I don't know what kind of phone you have, but I would contact.
Most times, wherever you bought your phone, for example, I have Verizon, and if I go into the Verizon store, they're usually really good about helping me reset it or look for viruses or download, special virus protection things. They're pretty good about that, but make sure that it's someone that you reach out to them, not someone who calls you looking for, because they know you've got a problem with your phone.
I would go, into a store and ask them to help me with. Actually do, like if that's happened on my phone, I probably just I have an iPhone, so I would just take it to the Apple store, because I know that's not something I could fix on my own. But if you take it to the store, they might be able to help you fix it.
All right, I don't see any other questions, and I think that's the last slide. But yeah, feel free to reach out to Diane. She is awesome and will help you. Her contact information is, in the slides. We're going to send this slide deck to you through email, and we're going to send this recording out, and it will be on our YouTube channel. So you have every opportunity to get Diane's contact information and mine as well. And if there's anything ever that we can do to help you, just let us know. Diane, thank you so much. This has been a great topic, and I'm really glad that you were here to present with us today.
Having me.
All right, enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. Thank you. Bye-bye.